move on to the next question, since we're talking about things down there, I've had the question, what is the deal with queefing? So AKA vaginal farts or vaginal gas. What does this mean? I've had some clients ask me, does it mean I'm too loose down there? Does it mean, like what's going on? And so number one, is it normal? And further to that question, I know this doesn't just happen to moms, because I know that it does happen to younger kids as well, younger girls as well. So this is a question I had to ask, because I'm like, I don't really know about that. Let me get the expert to weigh in here.
Let's talk about it. So I hate the word. I hate to say things are normal or not normal. It's common.
Okay.
We see that a lot. There's no around your urethra where your pee comes out of. There's a sphincter muscle, and around your anus where your poo comes out of, there's a sphincter muscle. There's no
Right.
sphincter muscle around our vagina.
Okay.
So air can get in, and sometimes needs to get out.
Right.
The within the vaginal wall there are rugae, so there's little sort of rouged walls.
Okay.
And in and around pregnancy or after birth, if you've birthed vaginally, those walls expand and usually take about a year to contract back down.
Okay. A whole year. Interesting. I never heard that. Okay.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of different elements in terms of what the capacity of the vagina is. But essentially, if things are too tight or they're too weak, air can get trapped in your vagina. We see it a lot in athletes when they're doing handstands, or they're in positions with their legs up, and during yoga, where air gets trapped, and then queefing is the release of air.
Right.
We see it a lot with women who have had pelvic organ prolapse, that they get into a position where the organ descends and then goes back up, and then the air gets trapped. In my experience, most of the clients that I see who are experiencing queefing have muscles that are overworked.
Okay.
So they're actually clenching, and when we start to get more of that range of motion back, and they get that more of that coordination, and they stop experiencing it.
Okay.
We also see a changes if we change their breathing pattern, because sometimes they're breath holding and they're sucking up and in, and then that's when they start to get air trapped in there as well. So there's a lot of things that we can do to change it.
Right.
It happens because there's no sphincter there.
Okay.
But generally speaking, if your muscles are at resting state, it doesn't happen quite as frequently.
Okay.
It's usually a sign that there's something
Right.
on their end.
So if you are experiencing the vaginal gas, it could mean that you are either too tight or too loose.
Or that movement that you're experiencing with you needs to be coordinated, that you need to be trained in that movement.
Right. Okay. So
right?
whatever.
You're compensating in some way. Like it might just be for that movement, you're clenching your pelvic floor, or you're sucking in your belly, or your whole breath holding.
Right.
Right. It couldn't just mean for that movement itself.
Got you. Okay.
Versus
Awesome.
a state. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you for that. And Hannah, we'll wrap up here. Hannah, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes, I can. You can follow me at Hannah Ross PT on Instagram. You can follow my clinic, Vital Physiotherapy and Wellness, on Instagram, and you can find out more about pelvic health physio, what we do, at vitalphysiotherapy.com.
And last question, do you only see, because I know you're doing a lot more online now, are you able to see Canadians all over every single province and territory?
So within Canada, there's now changed some of the rules where you can get a license to see people interprovincially.
Right.
We are licensed throughout all of Ontario.
Okay.
And we've had a number of clients who want to see us in other provinces, and so we just get in touch with their regulating college and of that province, and it's pretty easy to get. They recognize within the different
Okay, so I guess what I'm asking is, do you see other people in the U.S. or any other country, or just Canada?
Just primarily Ontario and Canada. And in the US, it's complicated. Every single state has its own rules. So some
Okay,
will allow people who are regulated outside of the state to provide therapy within the state. And similar with other countries, some will and some won't.
got you.
If anybody's interested, get in touch with me, and we can do some research. We are doing so much research on all these points. It's fascinating.
I'm sure. Because as I said, I have a lot of American clients. I'm like, yeah, I got some people you could reach out. So hoping that, you could work virtually in some capacity. So
Love it. I love it. Yeah, we
awesome.
can consult.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.